Redditors who have won a contest like the ones announced on yogurt boxes, where you are supposed to go and meet celebrities, etc. How did it go? I won a radio contest when I was a kid. The prize was 3 tickets, myself, a friend and a guardian, to see the Power Rangers in concert and a meet and greet in a Burger King. My sister cried the entire meet and greet and I wore double denim. Good times. When I was around 10 I entered a cat related competition through a kids TV show. I think it was called Kid Zone. You had to mail the entry into them and in 25 words or less, explain what you do to make your cat happy. My entry was something like, I take my cat inside to watch Kid Zone every afternoon. I ended up winning 24 cans of Whiskas cat food. I didn't have a cat. I won one of many contests to meet Dylan and Cole Sprout from The Sweet Life of Zack and Amp, Coddy, from Danimals or Gogurt, can't remember. It sucked. They were pretentious and talked bad behind your back if you ever left them alone. Complained a ton. And worst of all they talked down to you while constantly telling insulting jokes about you to you. I was given $1,000 reimbursement for my parents' plane tickets and tickets back and another 14 days free in a 4-star hotel with a driver for the rest of the time there. All in all I had the best time of my life after they left on day 2 of the 3 I had with them. Thank God for publicists deciding no one hearing my story was worth all that. Only say this now, because the original show pretty much ended, and they will never see this buried post. When I was about 10 I won a Disney.com contest and got to meet Gordo from the Lizzie McGuire show. He was nice, but I was awkward, and it was weird having my dad hovering over me. On Easter when I was younger, maybe 8 or 9 a Tesco buyers had a competition where, if you find all 10 hidden rabbits in the store, and write their names down, you win a giant chocolate rabbit. This fucking thing was like 4 feet tall, and made entirely of chocolate. So I run around the store and find all 10 names, write them on the paper with my name, and just as I'm about to hand it in, my mum tells me to give my sister the names too because it's not fair, she's only a kid, blah blah blah. That fucking night they phone up to say we've won. Well, my sister's won. I was fucking livid. It's probably one of the few things I still get really angry over, and it was like 13 to 14 years ago. We go to the store to pick it up, and the staff are like, wow, you're so young. That's impressive reading skills. We are so impressed that on top of the rabbit, you can have an Easter egg off the staff too. I got fucking none of it. Every kid in the street got a chunk. My sister kept the head like some sort of prize until it went all white and had to go. And now I'm the sort of person that goes to a pub quiz with my friends, gets my own sheet of paper, and fucking hides in a corner. That was the moment I learned that life isn't always fair. I won a contest to visit the set of The Office for a day in 2008. I got to take 3 friends. One of the best days of my life. All of the actors were exactly as nice as you would think they are. Most of the main cast made a point to come and say hi to all of us. In particular Rainn Wilson, Angela Kinsey, Kate Flannery and Ed Helms spent extended time talking with us. They saved the best for last though near the end of the day, when Steve Carell spent a good 15 minutes chatting with us. If he's not the nicest most down to earth actor in Hollywood, I want to know who is. Amazing. The production crew took us to the editing bay after and showed us the whole blooper reel for the next DVD set about 6 months before it came out, which was great. They also let us put a magnet we brought on the fridge in the break room, which was there until the end of the series, which was a cool personal Easter egg for our group. It was the yellow Support the Troops ribbon for my brother-in-law, who was in Iraq at the time. It's really cool because The Office is really one big set that's laid out just like it would be in real life, except for a few details, so when you walk in you're like, holy shit, I'm in The Office, wow. As for what's different, first of all, the main office set is not in the building they show on TV, it's next door to that building. The one you see on TV is the warehouse set plus the editing studio and production offices. Second, there are not men's and women's bathrooms. There's just one bathroom and they change it depending on what scene they are shooting. Third, the elevator is fake, which makes sense, but other than those small things it was really just like you see it on the show. It was so surreal being in a fictitious environment you've watched for so many years on TV. It feels a little smaller than it looks like on TV, but still really cool. Great experience I will never forget. When I was 9, I won a contest where you answer a list of questions about world landmarks. You had to get a perfect score, but the questions were very simple. Anyways, I couldn't claim the prize, one of the Nintendo handhelds, because I lived in Canada. So I took it all again and put in an American address, but I couldn't claim the prize again because I lived in America. The contest was for people in North America, but no one could win. When I was a junior in high school, I entered into a Chipotle drawing. It was a brand opening, and of course I had to skip my class and take both lunches. So I put my name into a bowl and fast forward 7 hours, drinking in my buddy's car before a basketball game, when I get a call from Sissy from Chipotle telling me that I just won 52 free burritos. They gave me a deck of cards with 52 free burritos in there. Best day ever. Not a contest, but I have a story that enrages me almost 20 years later. So you know how some cereals had those offers, where it was like send in 5 UPC codes and get this prize. Well, back in the old era of the 90s, there was this magical toy called the Yak Bag. I ate enough oatmeal to get one. My mom sent all the stuff in, and it was sent out. Well, it never arrived. My mom contacted General Mills, or whoever, and they said I probably took it out of the mailbox. If I took it out of the mailbox, I wouldn't have cried over not having it. So yeah, I don't think they ever sent it, and I ate a lot of oatmeal for nothing. My high school, being super nerdy, won a radio school spirit contest by first hacking the contest website and then setting up auto voters. This was in about 2000. We got to have a concert and meet Pink, Mandy Moore, and some boy band. They were pretty chill. Someone asked Mandy Moore to prom, but she said she had other plans. It was a sweet day off though. I finally have a relevant story. My life is pretty dull, so this is exciting. In Helo, when I was around 10 or 11, my mom received a call from a third-party sweepstakes company saying that we were finalists for a 7-day trip to London. We were put up in the Belvedere Hotel, $10,000 cash for spending and sightseeing, and the best part about the trip was it was for the new millennium. We spent the day at the Millennium Dome, which was very fun, since I was a kiddo. Oh, and I forgot to mention this was from entering a contest from a Frosted Flakes box. I wish I could have gone when I was a little bit older, but all in all it was a very badass experience. A friend called me one day and asked me how quickly I could get a passport. She's won an all expense paid trip to London and couldn't go. She gave it to me. I didn't think it was real until I landed in London 2 weeks later. I figured that because it was free, I'd be staying in the ghetto. I got off the tube into the nicest ghetto I'd ever seen, Kensington, and stayed in a swank hotel down from the palace. Epic trip. By myself. Total blast. Totally unexpected. And I can't believe they let her give it to me. Not me, sorry, but my friend organized her high school to participate in the contest Katy Perry had about a year ago, where the best submission won a Katy Perry concert for their school. They were the school to win, Lakewood Tigers, and she met Katy Perry one-on-one. She loved it a ton, said Katy is a really great person, and so on. My cousin was one of a few who won a radio contest for $500 to spend on her quinceanera. All of the other winners from that were then put into a contest to win a quinceanera dress. She won that too. It was all fun and exciting, until we learned that the awards were tied to the shittiest little quince store with really trashy stuff. We managed to find a nice dress, decent decorations, and saved a ton of money on it all, but definitely was not expecting to have to hunt through a basement store. Back in the 5th grade, the company that made our chocolate milk cartons held a contest where, if your carton made a moo when you open it, you would win an iPod, the bigger ones. My best friend at the time won it, and was the coolest kid in school. That's my best contribution to this thread. My grandparents won a cruise through Good Morning America. It was the maiden voyage of the Disney Dream cruise ship. My grandparents took myself and my sister with them. It was a lot of fun. We got to stay at a Disney hotel. Then the next morning we went to Cape Canaveral, when we got to be in the background of the weather segment on GMA. We then went to a presentation about the ship, watched the christening. We had 3 days, 2 nights on the ship, if I remember correctly, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had. It was not yet open to the public, so it was not crowded at all. I think there were some celebrities on the ship too. John Stamos, Whoopi Goldberg, but I didn't see any. I won a radio competition for me and one friend to meet Taylor Swift before one of her shows. We were big fans at the time, so we were very excited but pretty nervous. We got put in a room with around 10 other people who I'm guessing had also won various things to meet her. We were second in line, and after around 15 minutes of waiting, Taylor walks in. She seemed really friendly. The girl in front of us who was first to meet her was crying, but Taylor was super nice and handled it well. Anyway, we were next, and it was so weird approaching someone that famous. She hugged us both, and we started talking about how she wasn't as tall as she seems on TV, and she said I get that a lot. I think it's the huge shoes they put me in. Mine and my friend's hair was pretty much the exact same style but different colors, and Taylor said I love your matching best friend hair, which was really nice of her, haha. And after 5 minutes of talking, our time was up, so before we walked away, we went in for one last hug. As I went in to hug her, for some reason my arm placement was weird, like my right arm was bent up by my chest. This inadvertently caused me, as I was pulling away from the hug, to swipe her side boob. Like, full on stroke the side of her chest. I just cringed at the thought of her thinking I did it purposely. Anyway, my friend had her hug and we walked out of the room. Just before I had chance to tell my friend what happened, she turns to me and says, "Oh my god, when I hugged her I accidentally felt her ass. I didn't mean to. I didn't know where to put my hands." So, God knows what Taylor thought of us after that we both accidentally copped a feel. I won a contest to hang out with this one artist named Christina Grimmie like 6 years ago. I wasn't a huge fan or anything, but I was just hyped to meet someone even sort of famous. They cancelled, never met her, nor did they try to make it up to me in some way. Slight letdown but not huge. Not a contest, but when I was about 10 years old, I found a stack of porno magazines in my dad's closet. I filled out a form for free adult gifts and 4 to 6 weeks later a box showed up with my little brother's. He was 5. Name and address on it. My dad opened it up and there was a butt plug and a pocket lipstick vibrator in it. I don't think they ever figured out where it came from. No pun intended. This will most likely get buried, but I'll tell it anyways. My sister won a trip off of Radio Disney to spend a night at Aaron Carter's house. We get to his house, and it ended up being a large plot of land. Everyone in his family had their own house in the area. None of the houses were especially huge, but considering one person was living in each house they were big enough. He took us out on his own personal yacht. Then he made us play hide and seek with him on his yacht. It was pretty repetitive, but he insisted we would continue to play. He seemed kind of lonely and excited to have people over. We were only 12 at the time. Then he made us drive around and play tag with him using his collection of golf carts. That was pretty cool. He brings me into his room afterwards, and his room is filled with posters of him. Kind of weird, but whatever. We fell asleep watching Little Nicky together. When I left he gave me a gift bag of goodies from him. There was a poster, a CD, and a Barbie doll of himself. He was a nice enough kid, just kind of demanding and arrogant.